Yo, yo, yo! What's up, guys? What's going on? yeah. I mean, so that entire montage was like clips from our first year of the channel being live. You know, what's up, Barrett? What's up, Wick? The seasons of 08. Yeah. So, dude, the thing is, like, we've gotten so much more content, so many more highlights and clips through the second year. You know. So this being the second year of the channel being live, man. Oh man. Hey, don't be yucking my yum, dude. You know what I mean? I've gotten so many more highlights, dude, for the second year, and I'm getting ready to start trying to work on getting some new montages put together for. We're about a little less than 2 months away from the anniversary of the channel being live. Soul cleansed as well, yeah, for sure. So I'm gonna try to get a couple more montages put together. That way, we'll have some different, you know, we'll have a variety of some to run for the intro for the channel, and we'll have some we'll be able to run some for like whenever we take breaks and things like that too. So that's what I'm gonna try to get done. But what I'm gonna try to do is same thing. So I kind of like shadow dropped it on everybody last year during the anniversary stream. Nobody knew that I was doing it. So for the anniversary stream, I like showed that to everybody. Nobody knew that I was making that, so I made this like that montage that the stream starts with right now. I made that last year for the anniversary stream and showed that to everybody, and then it just became kind of like the startup video. And so this year I'm going to try to get some other ones done before the anniversary stream, the 2-year anniversary. We'll watch those during the 24-hour stream that we do to celebrate. And we'll try to incorporate those as some of what we use for the channel moving forward and everything. It should be good. But you can definitely see like the evolution of the channel and stuff. That first year especially, was there was a lot of changes, and I've got other things in mind that I want to do to change up overlays and things like that. So we'll see some more changes moving forward. But especially that first year, there was a lot of just like really getting my grips about what the whole streaming process had to offer, you know, and how to create my overlays and things like that. There was a lot of evolution, getting feedback from the community and things like that. So, and with just like the stuff on the walls and even my appearance, man, I wasn't in a very healthy state whenever I first started streaming. I was really, really thin. I wasn't real healthy and stuff. You can see a big difference in the way I look now and the way I looked back then when I first started streaming. So there's a big difference, man, in seeing some of those videos. It's pretty wild. What's up, Kayla? How are you? What's up, everybody? Ferret, Wig, Artie, everybody, what's going on? It's good to see you guys. Happy Thursday, man. I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. Look better with my haircut? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know. It's not about that. It's not about that. All right? It's about sticking with the process, dude. It's about willpower, dog. Yeah? It's about willpower. It'll get cut again. It'll get cut again at one point. But I needed oh, that sucks. The wife hates my hair long, dude. She hates my hair long, man. She despises it. But I've never let my hair like get down to It's not just the ladies, homie. Come on, dude. That sucks to hear that, Kayla. I'm sorry. You know. Yeah, I'll get it cut again. It'll get cut. I've just been trying to stick with the process, dude. Let it get long. My apologies. You're okay, dude. You're okay. You try to act like you're not in that group, dude, but I know. You know, you're trying to say it's, you know, just the ladies, but you you're trying to project like you're not part of that group, you know? You're my pretty lady, Wick. Oh man. Only worked till 1 today? Good. That's great. No, I'm sorry you feel like crap again. That sucks. So yeah, it'll get cut, dude. I know. I agree. I do look better with shorter hair, but it's just something I felt like I needed to do, man. I just needed to grow the hair out long. I don't know. It's something that needed to happen. So, I've gotten it like kind of medium length a number of times, and then I get tired of it because I don't like it really. It's a hassle. I don't look as good with my hair long, and so I go, oh, let's just cut it, you know. But this time I'm trying to stick with it and let it get like down to my shoulders before I finally chop it off, you know. I just hate going and getting a haircut all the time. I'm lazy, dude. I just don't like going and getting a haircut. So eventually what happens is like, it's kind of the same thing with my face. So I get tired of like shaving, and I don't even shave with a straight razor besides my neck, you know? Oh no, are you guys for real? Oh no, are you sure it wasn't Roach's fault, dude? Are you sure you couldn't blame it on Roach? Because that's what I would do. So the same thing happens with my face, dude. Like I'll you know, because I just use like a trimmer and I just shave the beard short, you know, and just get it chopped off. But sometimes I just get lazy and I don't want to do it, so I end up growing a beard, man. You know? Are you sure, Caleb? Because this is the way it feels to me, you know?
Alright, that one was on me.
I'm just saying. I mean, I wouldn't worry about it. I think Wick's gonna take the blame. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So, yeah, today, it's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys, as always. No Saturday stream, man. No Saturday stream. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right on. The old Fortnite. I don't know, man. It's just not for me. Not for me. I respect it, dude. I always have. I know. I can understand why people enjoy it. Man, especially now that I know Roach is in that game, there's no way that I can get back in there. No better than to die and leave me alone. Riding on a Roach like a boss. Oh, dude. God, that horse in The Witcher 3 was so terrible. What a mauling experience, dude. Alright, man, let's go ahead and pop this off. We're gonna, oh, no, I mean, like I said, I mean, I get it, dude. For me personally, it's just not my jam, and I don't hate on it. I mean, I respect the game for what it is, and if people have fun playing the game, then more power to you, you know? Do what you do. That's what games should be about. That's what games are supposed to be about. It's a well-developed game. They do a great job with continuing to provide new content for it and things like that. So people enjoy it. They play it. Obviously, there's a lot of people that enjoy it. So that's what it's about. It's just not my jam. Play it and hate on it. Well, I think that's like the that's one of those things that a lot of people do actually for Fortnite. It's almost like one of those like, I don't know, what would you call it? I don't know if it's so much as like, I don't know. I've known a lot of people that still hate on that game that play it too. They're like, I like it and I hate it. It's like a love-hate thing, right? Oh, well, there we go, Ferret. Yeah. Well, I mean, that is not a, they do new content too. I mean, kind of what I'm talking, but they do a lot of collaboration. They pull in new, a lot of what people like about the game is so much is that it is highly visible. It's a highly visible game. It's a game that a lot of other games and entertainment products want to collaborate with and bring, you know, their products to and have exposure with. And so even outside of just like necessarily different kinds of gameplay types or in-game mechanics and stuff like that, they are always bringing new content in the game in that fashion too. So I know what you're saying. That's not necessarily something that's different for, you know, I mean, all developers really do that in the live service space. You know, they kind of recycle things to an extent. That the longer a game is live, the more propensity and the more potential there is and it for reuse in the game. That's something that happens, right? Things get kind of taken out and put a pin in it, and then at some point they're like, okay, it feels like a good time to bring that back, you know. And so that's part of a live service game, but they do a good job too of bringing content into the game also. So I don't know. The day that we have, man, we're gonna be doing the news. Yeah, obviously. Ferret, why am I not surprised about that? You know, like gross Nintendo. So we'll do the news, and then we're gonna play a little bit of Warframe, and then I've got Dredge. It's mine. I already have it. I actually went ahead and bought like the deluxe edition, so we got some artwork we can look at, and we've got soundtrack that maybe we'll be able to listen to and stuff. And because I figured, you know, it's actually the game's cheaper on Fanatical right now. I got my edition off of Fanatical. If anybody's interested in playing this game after they see me play it, or even right now, it's a little bit cheaper on Fanatical. So base game or deluxe edition, whatever you want, it's a bit cheaper on Fanatical. I went with the deluxe edition just because I really like the premise around this game. I like the like Lovecraftian sea monster horror vibe around it. So I was like, you know, I'll probably dig the artwork and the music. It could be cool and stuff too. So I just went ahead and grabbed all of it. It wasn't that much more than the base edition. But if you are looking to get the game, it's cheaper on Fanatical right now than it is on Steam. So take a look at that. Oh, cool. Dredge. This game. Dredge. Is that better? Do you want me to really You're a trip, dude. All right, man. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get into this today, but this doesn't drop for like another 4 hours or so. I think 4 to 5 hours, something like that. So we'll just have to pay attention. How long till this drops? Let's see the store page real quick. Pause that. Shut your mouth right now. Approximately 4 hours. We'll check at 10 and see if it's open at 10. If that's the case, then we'll start downloading it and get in there. Cool. Yeah. So it'd probably be somewhere between 10 and 11, and we'll go ahead and just like start downloading. We'll get some lunch ready and stuff, and then we'll get in there and play that for the rest of the day. We'll just do a little bit of Warframe until then. Cool. That'll be the play. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and get ready and dive into this video gaming news stuff, man. This is what we're listening to this morning, though. That's the Crypt of the Necrodancer stuff. We're listening to that. You couldn't even see what I was looking at, but this is, yo, knock it off. God, I hate the autoplay crap on Steam. I need to look at my settings, see if I can turn that off. This is what we're playing today later after Warframe. We got it already in our library. We're listening to Crypt of the Necro Dance right now. Rhythm-based adventure RPG game. Very, very cool. Nice soundtrack as well. I'm going to go ahead and cut that music. But check it out if you're into rhythm-based games. Very, very good game. Very notable game. And this is what we're playing later. Dredge. The Dredgeness. Okay? Pretty excited about it. So that's what we're going to play later. Let's get into this news. See what we got. No. Yeah, so Divinity's not finished. Divinity had to be put on hold because Pinky has to work an afternoon shift this week. So, and Pinky is about 7 hours ahead of us, time zone wise. So basically, Pinky working an afternoon shift and being in that time zone basically means that his entire work shift is being done while the stream is being live. He'll usually get here right towards the end. So Divinity playthroughs just being kind of put on hiatus until next week. So stream will be down Saturday. I've got some stuff going on. Unfortunately, it's just Saturday's going to be a down day. So understand that. No stream on Saturday. Sunday, we will probably be getting back into Divinity and playing Divinity all week next week. And what'll happen is if there's any kind of like lull or break in the play for Divinity, we'll just do like Warframe play and we'll do Dredge play or whatever. So we've got a couple like little back pocket games to play while we work our way through Divinity in the co-op experience whenever maybe Pinky can't make it or something like that. Yeah. So it's cool. That's how we're doing it right now. But we'll keep getting the Divinity stuff done. It's just we had to take a bit of a break. So Netflix is testing TV games that can use phones as controllers. Cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kayla. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, I hope your head starts feeling better. That sucks, man. I was really hoping that you would be over that by today. That sucks. Let's go. Let's go, baby. I mean, that's not real surprising, really. The Netflix testing TV games through TVs, or their games through TVs. Their app is already all over smart TVs. There are a lot of TVs that are already incorporating like cloud gaming platform incorporations and being able to use wireless peripherals for gaming on them with no other hardware required and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just kind of a seamless thing that they should be looking to incorporate. It just makes sense. April PS Plus games announced. Make sure we've know everything that's coming to PS Plus for this coming month. Jesus, dude. Do you guys know what Axie Infinity is? So Axie Infinity is a game that was built up on the I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I've got you. I don't even need to dive into this article. I'm gonna tell you exactly what's going on here. Axie Infinity, and look, I'll tell you right now. You can see who this article's through. Cointelegraph here. This Cointelegraph site is always trying to promote NFT Web3 blockchain space. But Axie Infinity is a game that was built on the Web3 blockchain premise of basically think play to earn, Web3, crypto economy, breeding and battling axolotls. Okay, that's what the game was. And the game was doing well, and the developers of the game basically cut some corners on the back end of the economy, the crypto economy in the game, and left some vulnerabilities open and allowed the entire economy of the game to get wrecked. Basically, the entire crypto of the that was holding the economy up got hacked and stolen. It was like over 300 million worth, I think is what it was. Over 300 million US dollars worth of crypto that got stolen out from underneath the game. And now you've got one of the creators out of it. Yeah. And it's like just like all these people that invested in the game and were like playing the game, trying to earn money and stuff. They were just basically dead in the water, dude. I don't think it ever recovered. And it's been one of the like big examples for me of why. I mean, obviously, look, anything in not just like the tech industry and stuff and gaming. I mean, anything in the world, today's world, our world, the modern world is so ingrained with technology, right? Any company that you're buying products from or in collaboration with or whatever the case may be, any company is only secure as the amount of time and money they invest in their security, right? And whenever you take into consideration a situation like this where you've got in the gaming industry all these companies that are going, yo, we need to create all these games on a crypto economy, right? On a basically the premise of something that has a real world monetary value. And we want people to be in it, stay in it, continue to invest in this premise of more and more and more and more money in the game and it having real world monetary value. This is where it gets real scummy because we see things happen all the time where they're not protecting this investment for people and then it gets hacked and then those people's money is gone. And there's nothing really that can be done about it, right? And then it's like, oh, sorry, guys. To everybody that invested in the game and was playing the game and was trying to, whatever. It's like, we got hacked and all the money's gone. Sorry. And this is like not the only time that this has happened, but it's one of the more recent and larger examples of it. And this is where I think for a lot of people, you've got to understand the risk that you're getting yourself into. Is this always going to happen? Probably not. But if you've got to understand that you're getting yourself into a situation where you're investing in a company that you're basically saying, here's a chunk of money. I'm keeping my money on your platform, and you're expecting them to keep it safe, and that's just not always going to be the case because you have no idea what they're actually implementing to try and ensure that is being done correctly. Yeah, and I can tell you from experience, there are a lot of companies out there that don't invest in the type of IT security that they really should. Companies all the way around. And this is where I've really had a hard time with feeling comfortable promoting the crypto side, the crypto economy games, the Web3 side of games and stuff like that, is because I've seen too many examples of this kind of thing happening where people just basically their money just is gone. Whether it be a developer getting hacked or a developer starting a game up and getting a bunch of investment in the game, and then going, oh, the game's done. We're and they just yoink all the money underneath it and just bounce out. And they can't catch the people or whatever. There's a lot of stuff like this that goes down. But now you've got like the Axie Infinity creator, one of the Axie Infinity creators, working with other studios to push the Web3 adoption to new games. When this is a game that absolutely. Now, obviously, Axie Infinity as the game itself, people seemed. I don't even like calling it a game. The software. It was software. It was play to earn software. It's not video games, dude. That's not what video games are, in my opinion. But the creator, one of the creators of this software, is now helping other people or trying to push other people to adopt Web3 into their games as well. And so you've got somebody that was a part of this fiasco that is now being looked at for advice, And while they're probably not the sole reason that this stuff happened around Axie Infinity, you have to wonder, did they try to do anything to prevent it either? I don't know. It seems like a bad situation. This is why I have so much disdain for this part of the industry right now that's trying to push all the like NFT Web3 blockchain space stuff. It seems so scummy, dude. It's just so bad. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, you're not wrong. Yep. No doubt. No doubt. I think people would be surprised that at the number of cases there probably are where somebody at big corporations, gets enticed to, inject some kind of vulnerability so, infrastructure can be infiltrated from the outside or like just by going in with some kind of like thumb drive and plugging it in or whatever. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of ways to get it done, but you're absolutely not wrong. Absolutely. But whatever the case may be, it was a terrible situation, and now you've got apparently one of those individuals that was at the head of Axie Infinity that's now like going around and going, oh well, this is what you need to be doing, and it's like how is this, how are the people that made this piece of software that got so many people lost so much money on, are now being looked for advice. Now, look, I guess lessons learned and everything, and you would hope that people are implementing those kinds of things in life, but we know that's not always the case either. Yeah. So, and again, I mean, obviously they were doing some things correct because the game got very big very fast, or the software got very big very fast in that space of play to earn and stuff, which I'm not a fan of, dude. That I don't agree with that side of things. It's not gaming for sure. I think that's one of the big things for me that needs to change. To be calling those games the play to earn software, to be calling them video games that's not what it is, dude. Those are jobs. Those aren't video games, dude. Those are jobs. They're trying to turn what is traditionally been looked at as something that's supposed to be fun and immersive and a way to escape the normal pressures of life, which often come from grinding in your everyday job, into a job. That's not what gaming is, dude. So, gaming beta is fighting for its life. They're talking about Oh, Jesus, dude. Why am I tripping? Wait. The gaming beta, just all the way around. Oh, okay. Yeah, we talked about multiverses yesterday, but let's take a look at everything they have to say here about the beta stuff. Um, yeah, if you didn't hear yesterday, multiverses. We hit on this in yesterday's news segment, but multiverses is shutting down for until next year. They're shutting it down, down. Like if you've already got it installed, you can still play local co-op or local multiplayer and like just single player, but you won't be able to download it anymore after a certain date coming up pretty soon. And basically, the player base just is gone, which is wild. We elaborated on it in yesterday's news segment, so you guys should take a look at that if you're interested. But Tekken 8 is like Dark Souls. See what's going on there. They're trying to figure out a way to keep it alive because it did very well on release, but I think they see that there's some potential behind multiverses. But man, it died real fast. We've got the PS Plus titles up that are coming in April already, so we'll take a look at that. Night Dive reassures fans about the Atari deal. Yeah, there were some people that were not psyched about that. We read that. We read about that a few days ago. If you didn't know, yeah, Atari has agreed to purchase Night Dive Studios, and Night Dive is popular for being able to, basically do a great job at recreating older retro games and stuff like that. Um, Basically, there's a lot of worry about what Atari would do with Night Dive moving forward, as well as what they would do with all the titles they would be accumulating under Night Dive's current portfolio, like all the games they're going to be receiving. It was like, well, a lot of people are like, if you want those games right now, you better go get them before they get trapped under some like stupid mechanic Atari's going to put over them, But we'll see what Night Dive says. Crime Boss Rock City does look super weird. It looks cool though, I think. Biggest game releases in April. Let's take a quick peek at that since April's hitting us right now. Wait, what? 19 years worth of Pokemon are now trapped behind a what? A $5 app you can no longer buy? But wait, then they're literally lost. Right. Yeah. That's just because of the eShop shutting down. We've talked about it. eShop shut down. Nintendo eShop shut down for the 3DS and the Wii U, meaning that there were just so many titles that are just done, and a ton of Pokemon titles that are just obliterated. Uh, they're the mechanics behind them, especially like the online stuff for a lot of the old Pokemon games. It's just done. There's just nothing you can do with them anymore. Online wise, as far as like the I think it's a lot like all the what was it? A lot of the online fighting, trading and stuff like that. It's just nixed, dude. It's all Dunskies. Instead of Nintendo finding a way to move it over to their God, just broken record, aren't I? God, I don't even. That's all I do is just I don't I just don't understand it, dude. It's so bad. Nintendo's so bad, dude. All right, let's look at our other search. I know. Dude, I rant every single day, dude. It's not your fault. I rant every day in the news, dude. It's I can't help it. There's just always topics that get me riled up, man. We see a lot of cool stuff. But we see a lot of we see a lot of stuff that gets me, riled up as well. So I always end up getting in a bit of a rant, bit of a tangent about certain things. I do blame the parents if their children are video game addicts. I want to read that. I'm going to say something up front though. This is we've talked about this a lot before we even get into this article. Like, unfortunately, there are a lot of parents out there, a lot of guardians of children and stuff that, whoever it is that's taking care of children, there are a lot of people that struggle to be there and have constant oversight and interaction of what their kids are engaged in. Also, it's they work very hard, they work long hours trying to. Yeah, yeah, fair. Well, I mean, look, we talk about that all the time too, right? I mean, anything, it's about moderation. I mean, dude, I sit here and play games all day, Doug. You know, but it's about still taking care of your responsibilities and making sure you're taking care of your life things and consuming things in moderation, whether it be video games or whether it be, you know, alcohol or whether it be, whatever leisure activity. I mean, anything can be, um, in life can be consumed in a way that can make your life unhealthy. But moderation, I think, is the key. You got to know your limits, and it's going to be different for everybody. So, but I think, yeah, I think there are some parents that just, I think there are some parents to blame. And then I think there's some parents that the kids might be addicted to video games, but it's not necessarily their fault either. They're struggling. There are a lot of single parents out there, a lot of single guardians out there trying to take care of kids that they're working multiple jobs, to do everything they can to provide. It's a tough world out there, man, for a lot of people, and in all honesty, I mean, if for some of these situations, I mean, would you rather the child be out on the streets, you know, involved in some of the stuff going on out there, or rather be a video game addict? You know what I mean? I mean, neither one is necessarily good, but and for some of these people that can't be there all the time and can't, maintain oversight of, like, yo, you need to shut the games off and do something a little bit more like go take a flipping shower, dude, go eat something, try to teach younger individuals that there needs to be a level of, responsibility taken along with it and everything. There are other things in life that need to be taken care of. uh it's tough, dude. It's tough to just lump everything in as, all parents are to blame for their kids being video game. It's not just black and white. There's gray, dude. Everybody's situation's different. It's probably not even worth diving into that article. I think we just fleshed it out enough. But for the people that are on hands most of the time, and all they do is just throw their kids in front of screens because they don't want to have interaction with the kids and teach them responsibility and why moderation is important and consuming things like that, they suck, and it is their fault, So, uh, it just everybody's situation's different, and I think there's a lot of struggles out there, and I don't know, I can see both sides of it. there are definitely parents out there and guardians out there that are to blame because they just don't care and they just sit kids in front of the TV all the time, or or in front of a video game all the time, and don't really teach them anything. EA has cut 6% of its workforce in a video game slump. Big surprise. Everybody's just like, so I mean, right now, if you didn't know, um, it's the end of the fiscal year. Wick's gonna pop off right now because I said that. That's a hot keyword here for Wick to start popping off. It's the end of the fiscal year for the gaming industry, right? And most, like a lot of the tech industry and stuff too. Fiscal year runs more on like an April 1st through a end of March kind of situation each year. So it's like April 1st through March 31st. And this is, unfortunately, this is what you'll see is like, as a numbers game, you'll see a lot of these companies in the gaming industry and tech industry and stuff. They'll start cutting numbers around the first of the year, January, February, March. They start really like just doing everything they can as a numbers ploy, and you'll see a lot of it come down to just them cutting workforce, and it doesn't feel good, doesn't look good either. But that's kind of the way it happens. So end of the fiscal year for the gaming industry is happening right now, and the beginning of the next fiscal year begins on April 1st. So for anybody that didn't know, that's the way it works for almost the entire gaming industry. Is like it runs, most of it anyways, runs on a fiscal year of that, not like a calendar year. So it doesn't normally run numbers wise for reporting and things like that, and counting profit margins and revenue and everything. It doesn't run on a calendar year like January through December. It runs April 1st through March 31st of the next year. And that's where we're at right now. So that's why we've seen so much of that stuff. All right, we got the PS Plus stuff up. I just got shocked. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, look, man. This is just this might be why The Last of Us has terrible stuttering on PC. It's probably because they didn't use enough testing and quality assurance before they pushed the game out. Let's just chalk it up to that. Cool. Yeah, that's normally the case. There you go. There you go, Doug.
Disappointed!
You know it, dude. It is disappointing, man. It's literally, dude. Have you guys seen this? We looked at this yesterday. Let's see where it's at today. Check this out, dude. You guys see how I mean, it's getting obliterated, dude. Almost 9,000 reviews at this point. 36% positive. It's like almost 2/3 of just the reviews for this game are negative, dude. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on I mean, it seems like more and more and more of an issue nowadays for developers to be able to push out PC games in a decent state. It's really, really gross. Pretty disgusting, dude. And it's all like, I mean, just so many performance issues. So many crashes. Crashes every 10 minutes. And these aren't potato machines. Bunch of stuttering and stuff. It's like, it's just so gross, dude. How, I mean, why are games getting released like this, man? I just don't understand. Dredge PS5 review, Fishing for Thulu, dude. Oh man, we got to take a look. I I don't want spoilers. I can't read that. I can't read that. Well, we're gonna get our own impression of this game, okay? I don't want to be skewed in any form or fashion about how I feel about the game. I don't want to go into it with any kind of bias, you know, from somebody else's impressions. Bro, is this actually America Online? Is that what this site is? I don't know, dude. But I'll tell you this, the way it seems to me, the way I perceive things right now in the development world is that quite often it seems to me that if a game is going to get released across all platforms, it is specifically being developed for console and then they try to port it to PC after. It's not going vice versa. That's the way it appears to me. It appears to me that they're more concerned, or at least just going, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that it's static hardware for consoles, and it's a bit of an easier task. They don't have to worry about as much optimization because of hardware. You know, the varied hardware configurations and the testing that has to go along with it and stuff. And so what they do is that's the way it comes off to me, anyways. It's like, yo, it's cool. It runs good on console. Let's port it over to PC real quick. And, you know, whatever issues there are, we'll just try to patch it after the fact or whatever. And I have no idea, dude. I'm not a developer. I have no idea as far as your question's concerned or what I'm just talking about. I have no clue. But that's like the impression I get just from everything I see every single day doing the news and playing games and everything. Um, but it's disgusting. It just seems like all the time, you know, there are developers that are really good at making PC games. There are a lot of developers that are really, really bad about making PC games and porting PC games as well. So I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's really, really gross. Is America Online? Is that what this is? Is that still a thing? AOL? Am I tripping right now? is, is No way, bro. This is not like this is not the same AOL from back in the day, is it? There's no way, dude. For real? So it's Yahoo. It's just Yahoo. They're labeling it as AOL. What? Wait, what is this, dude? I don't know. I mean, Mashable, obviously, but like, dude, I haven't seen this in a long time. That like acronym, uh, wild. We'll take a look at that. Get a whole year of PlayStation Plus Essential for $60. Congress finds time to yell at Sony on Microsoft's behalf. All right, dude. Let's see this. Oh, here we go. Dude, there are going to be so many people that are pissed about this. I have to admit, dude, I'm not a big fan of that mechanic. Like the broken weapon thing in the game is just like the durability. You can't repair anything. It's just constantly having to find new ones, and it's like I wasn't a fan of it in Breath of the Wild either. But that's funny. We'll read about that. Yeah, E3 already sounds like it's going to be canceled. We read about that yesterday. I'm not that surprised, really. Marvel's Avengers they're still pushing it. Dude, this game is shutting down in like September, by the way. Yeah, exactly. Fair. Yeah, I think that's the big thing for everybody is like it felt gross that it was like it's that exact concept. It's like you just got to use something until it breaks, and you got to replace it with something else. You know? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that was they did a lot of that kind of stuff. The same thing with the abilities too. That drove me nuts also. The abilities were the same way. Like, you'd have three charges of the abilities or whatever, but like so if you used like one, it wouldn't recharge until you expended all of them or whatever. What kind of crap is that, man? That's a terrible, terrible, terrible mechanic. So if you got down to like one use of an ability left or whatever, you quite often you would just expend it just to try to get the all of the charges to recharge. It was really stupid. I don't know why Nintendo does stuff like that. It's I don't know how anybody like. I mean, it's the same exact thing as the Master Sword. All that stuff together. Those are like I don't know how anybody like was developing the game and playing the game through development and went, yeah, this seems like a good idea. you know, those are the kinds of things I see in games all the time, where it's like blatantly obvious to me while I play a game that it was just like. I remember specifically playing Breath of the Wild when we were playing Breath of the Wild, and I was like, wait, the abilities aren't recharging. Like I had used two of like Mifas or something. Yeah, absolutely. As well as the like flipping cooking stuff, dude. That should have been a quality of life update too, you know. But it just never was. And I don't know, like. But I'll tell you this, dude. I think one of the biggest things for me is as somebody that plays like a lot of action based RPG games, I need them to change. So quality of life, you know what I mean? Quality of life, they need to do a lot of quality of life in there. Dude, they need to change some of the combat mechanics up in that game for me. Personally, as somebody that plays a lot of, it was not very intuitive, man. It was fine with like sword and shield, like single handed weapon and a shield. It was fine. But when you start mixing in like the two-handers and the bow and stuff like that and having to switch between stuff, it got real clunky. And they need to work on making it more fluid for the game player, for the gamer, in my opinion. It did not feel very good. But we'll see what they do. Nintendo is pretty notorious for just being bad with stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't get it, you know? Like, you can't block. You couldn't block with a two-hander. You can't parry with two. So they want you to, like, actually put the two-hander away, pull out a shield, do that kind of stuff, and then put the shield away and pull the two-hander back out. Dude, that doesn't make sense when you can use a single-handed weapon with a shield, and it's just because what that does is just make everybody just want to run around with a single-handed weapon and a shield all the time, you know? Basically, because it's just easier. A dodge god, yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's what I'm saying is, like, if you can have a single-handed weapon and a shield and attack and parry and block all at the same time, you should be able to do that same thing with a two-handed weapon as well. There's no reason not to. This doesn't make sense. In my opinion, anyways. New Tekken 8 trailer, let's go. New Guilty Gear Strive DLC video. Total War Warhammer 3 Chaos Dwarfs DLC. First major patch for Company of Heroes 3 as well. All right, let's stick with this. Let's go. See what we got. New Tekken 8 trailer welcomes in Ling Xiao. Is that Xiao? I probably butchered that. Ling has been a long-standing Tekken character since Tekken 3, and she has now been confirmed for Tekken 8. This acrobatic fighter got her own gameplay trailer to celebrate the announcement. Ling can be seen in the trailer using her flexibility and speed to outmaneuver her opponent and gain the upper hand. As was the case with the other trailers, some of these moves are familiar, while others utilize Tekken 8's new heat system. However, Panda, Ling's bodyguard, was not in the trailer and has not been confirmed for Tekken 8. Ling's trailer comes just a day after Jun Kazuma's trailer, who had been teased in prior trailers. There's also, I don't know if we saw that one. I don't know that we've seen that one. Also marked the first time she has truly been in a mainline Tekken game since Tekken 2. She was in Tekken Tag Tournament 2, but it is considered non-canonical. She turns into unknown in that entry, and some of those moves can be seen in Tekken 8. Neither of these recent trailers have revealed Tekken 8's release date. That's what a lot of people are still waiting on. It's expected to be later this year. Yeah. Let's see Ling's gameplay. I need a lot of coffee. What else is new, right?
Get ready for the next battle. Tekken 8! New challenger! Show-yow!
迷わないって決めたから
Combo break. Oh, sorry. Wrong game.
まだじゃ済まないわよ
No, don't beat up King, dude. No! Killer Instinct was such a dope game back in the day. I loved Killer Instinct, man. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ferret, no doubt. Okay. Yeah. So right now, I mean, as far as like some of the mainline fighting games, we know that Street Fighter 6 is coming out right at the beginning of June. Is like June 8th or something? It's right around there. So that's going to be the big new fighting or the big release before Evo. So that's going to be the hype game for there'll be at least a couple of months, a little bit more than a couple of months, like I said yesterday, for Street Fighter players to get comfortable and familiar with that game before it hits Evo this year, which will be cool to watch. We'll probably watch some Evo this year in the channel if we can. And I would love to watch some Street Fighter for sure. Then we've got Tekken 8 that's supposed to be coming out later this year. And then probably Mortal Kombat 12 should be hitting at the beginning of next year. Let's see this one too. I don't think we've seen this. It'd been awesome if she like starts smashing the bird. Start crushing it, dude. Feathers going everywhere. It's like start smashing the crap out of that bird, dude. I think that is what would have made it cool, dude. You know, you wouldn't be expecting it. You know, I think that's where it's at. You know, keep people on their toes, bro. You know. There it is. Do it again. There you go. A couple of Tekken 8 trailers for you. That's not how you cleanse, that's right. Well, you know, they had to put it on YouTube, dude. They couldn't show the actual soul cleansing method, you know? Yeah, you're right, dude. Well played. And Guilty Gear Strive provides video guide for new DLC character Bedman. The new DLC character Bedman will soon be released for Guilty Gear Strive. If you're not familiar with Guilty Gear Strive, this is another fighting game that's gotten fairly popular over the past year to 2 years. And Arc System Works released an extensive video guide to help you get ready. This will be played at EVO as well, I'm pretty sure. God, dude. The guide provides an in-depth look at Bedman's abilities and moves, which players will be able to provide with the release of the DLC on April 6th. Take a look. What a banger, dude.
Bedman is a character who generates follow-up attacks at set intervals after using certain special moves. Use this technical characteristic to attack your opponent, leaving no room for them to gain the advantage. Error 6E. When certain special moves are used, Bedman enters Error 6E state. When in Error 6E state, a follow-up attack will occur after a certain amount of time elapses. The nature of the additional attack depends on the special move used. Error 6E state ends when the opponent's attack is either hit or blocked.
We've got Chainsaw Man, we've got Bedman.
A projectile that flies straight toward the opponent. It homes
What's
in on
next?
the opponent's position to an
Batman?
extent. After use, Bedman enters Air 6E state, and the follow-up attack produced is a projectile that homes in on the opponent's position to an extent. Call
Poster
4B3,
man.
a multi-hit strike with forward movement. It is easy to use in a combo from close standing slash or crouching heavy slash. After use, Bedman enters Air 6E state, and the additional attack produced is a forward-moving multi-hit projectile. Call 4B9, a strike attack in
I
which
am really
Bedman
interested in what
uses
the
its
lore
broken
is
arm
behind
to
this
attack with an explosion. On hit,
this thing.
it can knock down the opponent.
That's
Even
different.
if blocked, it will leave the opponent off balance. The attack's timing
dude.
can be delayed
Yeah.
by holding down the heavy slash button, making it useful on both hit or block. After use, Bedman enters Air 6E state, and the follow-up attack generates a forward-moving high-damage projectile. Call Point 2 makes additional Air 6E attacks occur immediately. Since the timing of the attack is different from the follow-up attack that occurs automatically over time, use it as a starting point for your offense or as mix-up. Call 1 delays the timing of the Air 6E attacks. Once the opponent becomes familiar with the timing of the follow-up attacks that occur automatically over time, use Call 1 to shift the timing of those attacks and catch the opponent off guard. Call 13C. This move powers up the Air 6E follow-up attacks and Bedman itself. In addition to increasing Bedman's offensive and defensive power, hitting an opponent with the enhanced follow-up attack in the corner causes an area shift as if it were an overdrive. Call 13C state ends after a set period of time. Call 4CC. Bedman sends a massive shockwave forward.
all these
Since
moves
the
are like
startup of this move
call
is invincible,
13-4.
It can be used in combos.
Call
or to
13.
interrupt
Call
an opponent's
4CC.
offense.
Call 4AB.
Call 4B.
Like, how do you even
is an
remember
easy to
what
use
move is called
projectile
what, dude?
that travels at a high
They're all
velocity,
just like
attracts
random
the
letters and
opponent to
numbers.
an extent. Using it puts you
Call
in Air
21
6E
Alpha.
state, granting access to follow-up attacks.
Bingo callouts. Yeah, dude, there you
Call
go.
4B9 is a powerful strike that
If
does
you
high
combine a
damage and can
21,
knock down the
a
opponent.
call 21 Alpha with a
advantage
call
even when
4CC,
blocked,
and then
so
link
use
it into
aggressively at close range.
you know, a call
When you have
1
pinch engage,
Bravo,
it is a good
then you
option
can link
to
up
enhance
to a
Bedman with
like
call
bingo.
13C. Take the opponent down with the
We
greatly
got a winner.
powered up follow-up attacks from Air 6E state. Thank you for watching.
Look at this, dude. All right. Well, there's your bed, man. For anybody that's interested. Total War Warhammer 3 Chaos Dwarfs DLC shows Zatan's campaign and gameplay video. Following the recent reveal of Total War Warhammer 3's DLC Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs, Creative Assembly released another extensive gameplay video. This time around, we get to take a beefy look at the campaign of another of the legendary lords included in the DLC, Zatan. The video showcases how he and his boys play both on the battlefield and on the campaign map. They shout a lot. Spoiler. Okay. This is 19 minutes long, guys. We're not watching this whole thing.
Causing just general mayhem. Time to move my army up, ready for when the Skullcracker breaks down the gates. That was fast. In you go, lads.
I think Tinwin plays an amount of this. Has anybody else played? Oh. Excuse me.
The rest is simple. Flood the city with troops, capture the points, wipe out any form of resistance, and it's game over for the Vamps.
Vermintide, me too. Actually, Tinwin right now, Tinwin's apparently alpha testing the Rogue Trader stuff, dude. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant, Ferret. Yeah, same here, dude. Vermintide 2 for me too.
To get the relic,
Yeah, apparently Tinwin was in here yesterday talking about alpha testing Rogue Trader right now, and he said it's pretty solid for especially for an alpha. He's really enjoying it, which is cool.
The right choice.
This game has always looked neat to me, man. I just haven't ever taken time to play it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not fantastic at RTS games either. I think they're cool. I'm just not great at them either. Here, I'll link this for everybody that wants to take a look. That's like a 20-minute video, man. So if anybody wants to watch it, there you go. If you're newest to the Warhammer world and you're unfamiliar with the Chaos Dwarfs, they're a race that has received very little support from Games Workshop and appeared in very limited fashion following Warhammer's 5th edition. Albeit they always existed in the lore. They're an evil faction worshipping the Chaos God of Fire Hashit, the Bull God, Father of Darkness. Sounds cool. Despite being basically ignored by their creators for a long time, they have a very rich and interesting lore and a very distinctive Babylonian, Mesopotamian inspiration for their looks. Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs is the first paid DLC coming for a Total War Warhammer 3. Will release on April 13th with pre-orders already open for $20 to $50 US. That's an early bird discount. Price will go up to $25 after that. Sounds like bull? Yeah, dude. Company of Heroes 3 is getting their first major patch with over 1,300 changes. Operation Sapphire Jackal introduces challenges and 2 in-game currencies to the strategy game. Uh-oh. Developer Relic has released its first major update for the strategy game, bringing new challenges and cosmetics along with a long list of bug fixes. Patch titled Operation Sapphire Jackal was released yesterday. That's 2 days ago now. According to patch notes, it brings a substantial number of bug fixes, quality of life improvements, gameplay balance adjustments, and all new features and content. Those new features include the addition of challenges, which task players with completing daily and weekly in-game objectives to earn merit, a new in-game currency. While merit can be earned by completing challenges, the patch has also added a second new currency, War Bonds, that can only be purchased with real money. Both currencies can be spent on Company of Heroes 3's in-game store, which the latest patch has updated with new cosmetics for every faction. Here's a video explaining some more of it. I'll let people watch if they want. I'm just going to read the rest of this and we'll move on. Quote, some highlights include a small update to unit player colors, improved sound for map pings, updates to several unit portraits and icons, even an all-new voiceover for the Gurkha infantry. While a more robust balance update is still in the works, a number of changes have been included in this patch, including tweaks for overperforming Pathfinders and the M1340 tanks. Company of Heroes 3 launched for PC last month. NME awarded it 5 stars in a review. Company of Heroes 3 is probably the best RTS of the last decade, reads their review anyways. A wealth of single-player content and a solid foundation for long-term multiplayer action have combined to make this a cinematic World War II masterpiece that's essential for strategy games. Looking ahead, Company of Heroes 3 is coming to Xbox Series X and S and PS5 this year. So if you guys want to watch that video, there it is. Congress finds time to yell at Sony on Microsoft's behalf. So many issues that Congress could be focusing on right now. Banking regulations following SVB's collapse, for example, or helping Americans who struggle with basic living expenses. Maybe they could be working on a long overdue fix of our broken healthcare system. Instead, they are very concerned about the possibility that Japan is being unfair to American companies such as Microsoft. Now both Democrats and Republicans are sending letters to top Biden officials asking them to tell Japan to give Xbox a bigger share of their market. Originally reported by Axios, 10 members of Congress signed 2 letters addressed to the U.S. Trade Representative Catherine Tai and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo. Today we write to bring your attention to the imbalanced Japanese video game market, which we are concerned may be a result of a discriminatory trade practice that could violate the spirit of the U.S.-Japan Digital Trade Agreement, said the Republican letter. It also reiterated the claim that Sony has 98% of the console market in Japan and that it makes exclusive arrangements to keep popular games from Xbox. This 98% of the console market claim excludes PC, Nintendo, and mobile games. In 2020, the Switch accounted for 87% of consoles sold in Japan, and every video game distributor pays for exclusivity deals, which is something that sitting representatives should probably know about video games before trying to push for foreign trade policies. To support their somewhat confusing claims, the letter cites an article from Gaming Smart, a gaming content publisher that provides sensitivity calculators and other gaming-related content that only has 32 followers on Twitter. Oh, man. The letter by Democratic representatives said that Japan's policy of non-prosecution towards Sony is hurting U.S. exports. Such policies also can distort trade in the U.S. and third countries by providing monopoly rents at home that can be leveraged for competition abroad, said the letter. Again, they're talking about a business practice conducted by every major games distributor in the world. Those in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Right. Kotaku reached out to the offices of Tai and Raimondo, but did not receive a response by the time of publication. Dude. This weird push to help Microsoft is interesting since it's about an entirely different country's antitrust laws. Meanwhile, the U.S. is in shambles. Can we get a little universal health care? Maybe forgive everyone's student loans? Put some regulations on the finance flip holes who played around with government bonds? No? Carry on then. Yeah, well played. Well played. Random mode time. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom disappointment here. We'll just read this part of this. Like seemingly everyone else, I really enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom's gameplay video, but I was disappointed to find that breakable weapons are still a part of the game. That's one of the first things everybody noticed in that video, by the way. One of the first things you saw was a weapon break, and everybody went, "Oh no, dude!" I'm telling you, that was like an immediate reaction. It was like, "Well, there's the broken weapon, man." You know, as much as everybody was not. Most people were not a big fan of that. Yo, Peter, what's up, buddy? As much as most people were not a fan of that mechanic, it's back. I know Breath of the Wild was very popular, so they're not going to want to change anything for the sake of it. But I'm one of those that really hated the way weapons only lasted 5 minutes. Much rather they act normally, but maybe degrade a bit when you have to sharpen them. Seems realistic to me, but what is clearly a very well-made halberd just breaking after a few swipes is nonsense, yeah. For me, the proof that the idea was silly is the way they fudged you not being able to use the Master Sword all the time. That was one of the worst parts of the game. There you go. Of course, the game was still great anyway, but for me, the weapons breaking was an unnecessary flaw that could easily be removed and added absolutely nothing of value. I guess it's too late for them to change anything now, but for me, it's a shame and it spoils the quality of both games. Yeah, so it's unclear how fuse affects weapon durability. The gameplay video seemed to imply that fusing items made them stronger or can essentially repair an almost broken weapon. Yeah, so that's a way that you might be able to work around some weapons that are about to break, if you have another item that you can like fuse them with, it can kind of like make a whole new weapon and get the durability back. But it doesn't solve this issue, right? Dude, me too, Peter. I think most of us do. Yeah. Wait, what, Ferret? Wrote those parts, ability, the durability. I feel like I could have wrote those ability. Oh, those parts about the durability. Oh yeah, I know, dude. Yeah, yeah. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You just meant the parts about the durability. Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, many of us actually. You know, what's funny is like almost everybody I've talked to. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'll play the game like that, but I feel the same way. I mean, we've all noted it. You know, it's not a common. This implementation of the weapon system in the game and the durability and how things just break all the time, it's not fun. Most of us don't like it. So that was one of the things I think a lot of people wanted to see change. And unfortunately, it's not happening. So I don't know. I mean, I get the fact that you know, like they said in this article, Nintendo definitely doesn't want to change too much because they've got a pretty good thing going with the way Breath of the Wild worked. It was a good game, but I mean, look, here's the thing. There's something to be said for progression and listening to your community. And if I think, you know, you've got the majority of your fan base around a game saying, yo, let's try to do something different, you should really take that into consideration, you know? Well, yeah, and that's what we've all been saying too, Peter. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, because in the game, even if you were able to tell how much durability is there, it still doesn't change the mechanic behind the fact that you're just breaking weapons all the time. I mean, it would have been nice to at least see how much durability you have left, because that was always something that kind of sucked. You never really knew until it was almost gone, right? Until it was like about to break, you didn't really know. But even if you were able to tell, it doesn't really fix that issue of, you know, the fact that you're just constantly breaking weapons. So it is kind of an immersion ruining type of situation too. But a repair system, I mean, that's common, dude, in RPGs, you know? And that's much more of a realistic, immersive kind of experience for a gameplay scenario for an RPG like this. You have weapons, they degrade over time the more you use them. You repair them, you know what I mean? So that they get back into a fully functional state, you know? like, oh yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, I know. I ran into those kinds of situations too. Absolutely, man. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, here we are, dude. It's Nintendo, and you know, I'm not surprised. I actually kind of figured they would go straight back to the same exact system. So yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, this is actually like, as much as I would have liked to have seen them go in a different direction with the weapon system in the game and move away from the breaking. Um, I'm more worried about seeing some other things in the game. You know, there's some things that were really, really molding for me. Otherwise with like quality of life and dude, like we were talking about earlier, Ferret, with the difference in like some of the mechanics of the fighting and the ARPG stuff style of the game. Um, it was not real intuitive, especially between like having to switch between your weapons all the time and not getting the same kind of combat from like sword and shield to like two-handed weapons and stuff felt real gross. So I want to see changes there. But I'm willing to bet you that if they're not changing this kind of stuff, they're not changing that kind of stuff. They're just bringing the entire same combat system and equipment system and everything straight over into this game. I'm willing to bet it. Oh no, those will break too. I think what they're getting across is that it did appear to like reset the durability. Exactly. Yeah, so the fused weapons, they'll break also, but it just it allows you to like kind of take a weapon like a branch. You know, if you've like taken some swings with a branch and you can tell like the durability is about to it's about to break or whatever, and you find something out like a stone, then you can fuse it with the stone, and it basically creates a whole new weapon. So the durability of that branch is totally reset, right? That's basically what's happening. Yeah. Yeah. So at least there's that. It doesn't fix the issue. It's like a Band-Aid, right? It's like a Band-Aid for it. Get a whole year of PlayStation Plus Essential for only $60 through April 3rd. Got like 4 days. Excuse me. You can get 1 year of PlayStation Plus Essential subscription for just $60 instead of $65. So you can save $5. That gives you access to online multiplayer gaming, monthly games, exclusive discounts, and more. During the spring digital blowout, get a 12-month PlayStation Plus Essential subscription for only $60 rather than the regular price, $65. Sale ends April 3rd at midnight. Okay? Save $5.02. My bad. Thanks, Ferret. Math head. Got to get that 2 cents. Yeah, Doug. Yeah, my bad. My bad. Here. Good old $5 holla. There you go. Since we're already talking about PlayStation Plus, let's go ahead and talk about this too. Wait. Nope. There we go. Yo, shut your mouth, dude. I didn't say start playing, man. Oh, bro, for real. Yo, dude, let's talk about this, okay? So, hold on. So, if you know, this is what I'm seeing right now. Sackboy Big Adventure, Meet Your Maker, and Tales of Iron are coming to PS Plus in April, right? We already know that The Last of Us Part 1 is having issues on PC. Not just issues. It's actually terrible. All kinds of crashing, stuttering. It's a hot flipping mess. Don't buy that game right now on PC. Don't support them, dude. I highly advise against it. The game is just terrible, from what I can gather. So, I mean, look, you do what you want with your own money, but my advice is to stay away from it on PC. Atlas Fallen gets delayed. You know what's funny about this? This game was supposed to release like 10 days after Legends of or Tears of the Kingdom. And whenever they initially announced the release date, I said, dude, that's a bold move. That's a bold move right there. So let's find out what this new release date is, because there are a number of games, like a few games actually, less than a handful of games each year that a lot of developers will avoid a release date of within a couple of weeks. You know, 2 to 3 weeks, they'll really avoid those release dates before and after. And to see Atlas Fallen come out not too long ago, it was like within the past month, they were like, yeah, we're going to release 10, you know, they announced their release date. It was like 10 days after Tears of the Kingdom. I was like, dude, that's weird. You don't see that very often. That's a pretty bold move. And here we are. Now they're pushing it back. So, I'm not going to watch this video. Let's just pull up some of this content here. All right, we got that up now. Let's also delayed to August. There you go. We'll go with IGN. Yep. Fantastic. There we go. Let's start with this. And then we'll do this. So, PlayStation Plus Essential subscribers free games for April are Meet Your Maker, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and Tales of Iron. Sony announced on Wednesday. Players may download them beginning Tuesday, April 4th. Meet Your Maker is a day and date launch on PlayStation Plus Essential. Also launching on Windows, PC, Xbox One, and Series X on April 4th. First-person shooter with base building and raiding elements. Isn't Meet Your Maker... Yeah, dude. This is the new game by the developers behind Dead by Daylight. Yep. Yeah, it says it right here, actually. Dead by Daylight developer behavior. This is their new game. It's pretty crazy looking. Pretty crazy. Kind of interesting. I'm interested to see what people think about this. It looks pretty cool. So, Meet Your Maker, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, which came out in 2020 by Sumo Digital, and Tales of Iron, role-playing game whose players take control of Reggie, heir to the Rat Throne, who must restore their kingdom by defeating the Vile Frog Clan. Wait, dude, but what about frogs though? Hand-drawn adventure by Odd Bug Studio, launched in 2021. PS Plus subscribers can still pick up March's essential level games, Battlefield 2042, Minecraft Dungeons, and Code Vein until April 3rd. Here you go, guys. You need anything out of that? Atlas Fallen delayed till August, just a month after release date announcement. Yeah. I don't see, this is weird. And I noted this, dude, as soon as this release date came out, because there's been an amount of hype behind Atlas Fallen, which the thing that's weird to me is Atlas Fallen has got a really weird kind of similarity to flipping God. Oh, bro, why can't I think of the name of that game? The one that just did terrible out of Square. Their Square subsidiary that is now no longer a subsidiary because Square... Why can't I ever remember the name of that game, dude? Because it's not worth remembering, probably. Let me see here. Forspoken. Dude, fair. Why can't I remember the name of that game? That is like the one game, dude, that I just can't... I can't get it stuck in my head, dude. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Forspoken. So there's some weird similarities here to Forspoken in some of the gameplay elements and stuff. It's got, you know, you've got this like kind of parkourish, like not as much parkour as I think Forspoken had, but it's still the traversal system over the environment's very it's got this like whole sand surfy kind of thing, so it's a little bit similar, and you've got a gauntlet rather than like a bangle or whatever. Yeah, fair, cool, man. Thanks, buddy. And so there's a little bit of similarities there, which I think is a bit scary for people because Forspoken was pretty bad for most people's experience, and then but it doesn't look bad necessarily. I don't think from what I've seen of it. We haven't seen a whole lot yet, but yeah, just within the past month they came out with this release date, and I noted right away. I said, dude, that's a bold move. That is just behind Tears of the Kingdom. And let's see what they're saying. Atlas Fallen may have just received its release date a few weeks ago on March 1st, but developer Deck 13 has now delayed the game by 3 months to August 10th. What? How does that happen? How do you announce the release date of your game at the beginning of a month, and by the end of that month, you're delaying it? Has enough happened within less than a month's time? Well, I think a lot of people had that impression, Peter. Yeah, I think the thing is like for me, there was stuff that had happened through the development of that game that was a little bit scary. Some delays. There was a situation going on, like the demo they pushed out. They were transparent with the fact that the demo that they pushed out had not been taken out of the original development of the game. They completely developed the demo as a standalone piece of gameplay that had nothing to do with what you were going to experience in the main game. And that was weird. That's scary. Because what a demo is supposed to be is something indicative of what you're going to experience and pulled out of the main gameplay, right? And so I was like, why are they doing that? Why are they trying to pull or create an entire demo experience that is nothing gameplay of what you're going to experience in the main game when it releases? That was a weird play to me, and that kind of raised some red flags. Some of the other things were like, people, the more we saw about the game, the more people were having issues with like being able to tell that it was some pretty bad writing in the game, some pretty cringy writing and dialogue and stuff like that. And I mean, I say this all the time. Usually, if you take a look at some of the better games, you know, from you know, entertaining all the way up to games that really stand out, it's usually a culmination of a lot of good pieces of art that come together, whether it be the actual, you know, artwork, the digital design, all the way through the sound effects and the music to the actual coding of the game. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of stuff that comes together to create an amazing experience, right? You played the demo, was clueless what to do, really. And I don't think everybody hated the game necessarily, but there was a lot of people that did not like it. And it had a lot of performance issues too. So, I mean, you're compounding things there also. So, they're all like Sonic. Nice, dude. So, I mean, when you put together maybe subpar gameplay with elements that people aren't thrilled about, like bad writing, cringy dialogue stuff, and then the game also isn't performing well, I mean, that's just like a recipe for disaster, you know? And I think that's what a lot of people experience. I mean, I haven't looked it up as of recent, but it's at like a 61 positive. And if you didn't know, Luminous is the developer that made this game, right? So that's recent. All-time reviews, 59% positive. It's not very good. I mean, it's not going to be the worst game you've ever played, I don't think, for anybody, but it's not going to be great either. Yeah. And I'll reiterate what I say all the time about the review process of things. Just because, and then, you know, reviews say that you're going to, you know, potentially experience a game a certain way doesn't mean that will entirely be your experience. Everybody's got their own respective things about their personality and the way that they experience content that is going to give them a different kind of experience, and everything's a bit subjective to us individually, and so I don't know. I think a bit of that is always needed to be taken with a grain of salt, but usually if you have a good chunk of reviews, like in the thousands, that it gives you a pretty good baseline to go off of, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt there are positive reviews in here. I mean, there's 60% of these reviews that are positive, right? So for sure. But I mean, is it necessarily going to be worth $60 probably based on that fact? Excuse me, $70. Probably not. You know, that's the thing I try to get people to take a look at. And there are indicators for me quite often whenever I watch a game going through a development process. There are delays and just some weird stuff going on. That it gets me a bit hesitant about maybe buying into something right away until we see some more come out. And it definitely had performance issues and things like that too. So you're talking about a lot of things content-wise in the game and performance-wise in a title that I think turned a lot of people off. But if you didn't know it, if anybody, yourself or anybody else that's hanging out or will see this content later, Luminous, which was a subsidiary of Square, and I say was is because not too long after the game released, which we've only been 2 months now after the game released, Square was like, you're done. And they absorbed them. They're like, you're no longer a development studio underneath us. You are now part of us. So they basically dissolved Luminous Productions, and that's just part of Square now. Yeah, it's 2 months. Been out for over 2 months now. They were released on January 24th. Time flies, doesn't it, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Atlas Fallen kind of has this same kind of thing going on with it, where there's like traversal, real fast, kind of crazy environment traversal over like sand areas and stuff. I think is what a lot of it is. And you've got this gauntlet that is magical, and oh yeah, they're done, dude. Yeah, Luminous Productions is no longer a thing. They're already gone. Square ate them. Yeah. Because Square was not happy with what happened with the game. Yeah. This was like weeks ago, dude. It was just like over a month. Just over a month after the game had released, Square was like, just ate Luminous, dude. Yeah. But it's not like as much like the sparkly magic stuff that you see in Forspoken that is in Atlas, but it's like sand weapons. You like create sand weapons and stuff so it's got yeah, they weren't playing around, were they? Announced in a tweet below, Deck 13 seemingly just needs extra time to deliver the version of Atlas Fallen it has always wanted to. Yeah, but how was it less than 4 weeks ago, they were like, oh, we're ready to go. We're ready to push this out. And then now they're like, oh, wait, we need months more. That's weird. We'd love to give the game some extra time, which will allow us to deliver the best possible version of Atlas Fallen. It is said in the tweet, to achieve this, we have made the difficult decision to delay the worldwide launch of Atlas Fallen to August 10th. Atlas Fallen was previously meant to launch on May 16th, though it's unclear what changed in the 28 days between its initial release date reveal and this delay announcement. Again, dude, I know that as soon as we found out, as soon as they announced the release date, I was like, that's weird. I think a big part of this, they didn't realize, they didn't think about the fact they were releasing this just after Tears of the Kingdom. I think that's a big part of it. I even stated then, I said, they might just be doing this to see if Tears of the Kingdom is going to release on time. And I think now that they see that Tears of the Kingdom is not being delayed, I think they're delaying, and I think that's why. I don't think this necessarily has a whole lot to do with needing more polish and optimization necessarily, as much as it does with they were pushing a release date, wondering if Tears of the Kingdom was actually going to end up needing to be delayed at all. And now that it looks like Tears of the Kingdom is definitely slated to release on time, they're like, okay, we'll go ahead and push back then. It seems more like that to me. This is weird. If you got here it is. We've seen this. There's not a whole lot of gameplay here, but
it's a shame we don't see more open world games set in the sweeping dunes of a great desert, and yet
I don't know
Atlas
if I've
Fallen
seen
embraces
this one.
the setting stylishly, bringing plenty of new ideas to the table, including a sand slide move that replaces the traditional sprint and quickly makes me feel like I'm back playing Journey again as I pave my way through Atlas Fallen's golden oasis of destruction. That's saying nothing of the unique combat system, which has me darting around midair between explosive attacks that often leave my foes shattered into 1,000 bits of sand and crystal dust, and I do mean that literally. Granted, the demo build I spent several hours testing didn't always feel as smooth as I'd have hoped, but I found it difficult to walk away from my overall experience with Atlas Fallen without remaining curious and excited for what's to come when it finally launches on May 16 in a hopefully more
Not May
stable
16th anymore, by the way, August 10th.
Atlas Fallen centers around your own custom character who has come into possession of a magical gauntlet, an important piece of gear that's central to its post-apocalyptic story.
Yeah,
I
it does.
really enjoy the pacing here.
Yeah.
A quick cutscene explains why the world is in its present state, you're introduced to each major element of gameplay, and then it's right to the action. Atlas Fallen deftly explained everything I needed to know during the first few minutes of play, and its early tutorials also serve the purpose of bonding me with Niall, the mysterious entity living inside my powerful and legendary gauntlet.
I think that's why people are excited about it.
Once I got myself out into the sun-baked world where Atlas Fallen takes place, I was quickly making my way through the sand, which looks gorgeously accurate as bits of particulate fly around in every direction in response to my movements. Movement is one of the best parts of Atlas Fallen, and there are plenty of different ways to get around. For instance, the raise ability lets you lift platforms and other buried points of interest out of the sand, whereas you can air dash to give yourself an extra forward mid-air
No,
boost.
this will be a price
jumps.
point on this one
Feel a
release.
shard nearby.
The seamless open world absolutely wants to be explored, though I didn't see too much of it beyond areas.
I don't think you can pre-order it yet, though.
Castrum 7,
So I don't know exactly
which
what it's going to
itself is
cost.
loaded with quests to complete and NPCs to speak to, each with their own backstories and interesting dialogue.
Welcome to our castrum. Arif told me about you, so to speak.
I also made a point of saving up and buying the first set of armor sold by the merchant in town, and it's cool that such a clear indicator of progress
I hadn't
was
seen
laid
this
out to
much
me
gameplay
so
yet.
early on, giving
this
me a
is
reason
nice.
to go out and do quests, hunt, and explore while saving up my currency toward a clear upgrade that actually paid off in combat. This open world is also littered with stuff to find, like loose crafting resources and wildlife.
Kill it, 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 kill it.
There's also a friendly traveling merchant who wanders the desert, and it's so neat to be able to identify him from a distance by his ornate flying kite.
Ah, we meet again. I thought that captain had killed you.
Atlas Fallen features action combat that is both visually entertaining and challenging.
Yeah, the
It
world looks
rewards
pretty good,
me for
man.
thinking tactically while I juggle my Essence Stone abilities and my momentum bar. The way this works is, as I unleash my basic attacks with my transforming axe and sword weapons, my momentum gauge fills up, unlocking Essence abilities of ascending tiers. And these are like powerful abilities that you can use in battle.
Those remind
with
me of
caveat
the
that
big
I'm easier to deal
worms or
damage
whatever
to
off
if
of
my
Willow.
momentum bar gets too high. It can feel exceptionally
Ow,
good once
dude.
you get into a groove, but it's also where I ran to my
Yeah,
aforementioned
yeah. I mean,
frame
I
rate
am
drops
too,
and
dude.
performance
Yeah,
issues,
for sure.
But
I
when
agree.
it works really well.
I think
Interesting enemy
the
designs keep me
big
on my
thing for
feet,
me is like
the
you
heavily
know,
armored crab analog shell basher that requires me to parry.
there are
in
things,
perfect
you know, 'cause
synchronization
obviously open
with
world is a big
pounding
deal,
pincer
right?
Attacks, strategizing my bigger attacks to hit its
as
vulnerable
we've
spots
advanced
at
with
just the
gaming,
right moments to
open
do the
world
most
is
damage.
become something
My
that a lot of
arsenal is
developers
enhanced with
are
the
trying to
addition of a
focus
shatter
on
ability
because
that can be activated by pressing both gamepad triggers at
that's
exactly the same
a
time
more
when
immersive
my momentum bar
experience,
is
right?
sufficiently filled
No
up,
more linear stuff.
unleashing
It's
a
open
massive
world. It
hammer
allows you
attack that freezes
to
and shatters any opponent who
pursue
gets in the way of it.
what you
This
want
is
in
quite
a
the
game.
spectacle on
yeah,
screen, giving
and
justice to the wild array of
I
sand
think
effects
it
going on at
presents
once,
different
as
kinds of
the
challenges,
whirling storm
though,
of weapons
because
and movements displace sand in all directions.
in an open world, it can't
Atlas
just be
Fallen
big
is
and
currently
empty.
in development
Yeah,
for PlayStation, Xbox.
it can't be
and PC.
big and empty.
You can pick
it needs
up
to
when
be
it finally
big.
releases on May 16th.
It needs to feel
For
fresh.
more
It
info
needs
on
to
Atlas
have
Fallen, and for everything else in the world of video games, stick
a
with IG.
variety of cool places to experience and explore all the time. It needs to have a lot of things to pursue to keep it feeling nice and exciting as you move through it on the constant. Whether it be like side quests or little mini things to explore
Heads up, kids.
and
Party
find,
time.
or there's a lot of things that go into it. I think that
It's
there's
been
some
almost a
developers
full year
that
since I
for a
first
while
played it.
got themselves into a bad spot with going, yo, let's go open world. But then they didn't think about the fact of gameplay got stale real quick because it was just like repeating the same things over and over in a different part of the world that basically looked very similar. There wasn't any variety to it. And so open world is great. And there have been a lot of examples of it being done very, very well. Breath of the Wild's a good one. Elden Ring was fantastic. You know, there are a lot of great open world games, but there have also been some where they haven't done too great with it, where it just feels kind of empty and boring, and like you're doing the same thing in just another kind of similar place or whatever. So it's a difficult thing, I think, for developers to navigate and make sure that they're keeping things fresh in it. Yeah. But that was pretty cool. Well, Atlas Fallen, I'm going to update our schedule here real quick. Atlas Fallen will be August 12th now. So that has changed. Cool. We'll keep track. Tekken 8 is like Dark Souls. People who keep dying over and over are having fun with the game. I mean, isn't that what you do in a fighting game? You die. I mean, you want to win, but you're not always going to win. Harada thinks fighting games bear similarities to From Software's titles. What? Tekken 8's director has compared the new fighting game sequel to Dark Souls. Speaking to Play Magazine in a new interview, Tekken series lead Katsuhiro Harada contrasted Tekken 8 with Dark Souls. Harada disputed the notion that fighting games are complex and complicated, instead saying that Tekken 8 feels like a natural evolution of the series in the way that Dark Souls players feel like they want to improve and get better. Yeah, for sure. Harada thinks Dark Souls is a game that deliberately meant to be difficult. Well, absolutely. That's why it doesn't have difficulty settings. But it's the enjoyment for players, even those who find playing From Software's game difficult, that shines through, spurring them on to reach new levels and improve their gameplay as a result. Yeah, for sure. This is, in a nutshell, what Harada is going for with Tekken 8. The director wants players to feel like they're progressing in the new fighting game, having fun as they go and really striving to reach new levels. This is where the comparison to Dark Souls really comes into focus for Harada. It's a bold comparison, but not one that's without merit. For sure, fighting games attract players of all skill levels and capabilities, just like deliberately difficult and challenging games like From Software's titles. If players are enjoying the experience, though, which Harada obviously hopes they will with Tekken 8, they'll push on to better themselves as a result, and so won't find the game that tough in the end. Here's the deal. Like, what you'll get is a lot of people see fighting games initially and they go, oh, that looks fun, and they get in there and they just button mash the crap out of it. And there'll come a time very soon after that button mashing experience where, at least this is what I think happens anyways. There's an amount of time, and not everybody is going to go through this, but I think a lot of people do. They'll go through the button mashing experience and they'll progress to an extent. It's not a great extent, but they'll progress to an extent. And they either go, okay, that was fun, and they get to a point where you would have to actually take time to learn at least some base level mechanics of the game that would require you to move out of that button mashing play style. And there are going to be an amount of people that go, okay, I'm not willing to do that. So they either just keep button mashing and don't progress and play it occasionally and play some other stuff too, or they actually get invested in the fighting game. And this is where you see competitive people start to really try to tackle that difficulty curve. People that get really good at fighting games have an incredible amount of knowledge behind what they do, not only in the characters that they main, but also the all the characters in the game, basically, because a lot of it has to do with every single frame in the game in regards to how it correlates with the fighter's attacks, how far the attacks reach, how much negative, or like how much space there is basically for your characters to get attacks off after an attack another player has made that has maybe missed you, or so. There's a lot that goes into it, man. It's incredibly complex, and this is where I think it sets people apart, and it can be attributed to a progression style for some people that really want to dive in and get good at the fighting games. It can be attributed to people that want to get good at a Soulsborne game or any other game for that matter. People get immersed in all kinds of different games, and whether it be a fighting game or a Soulsborne game or a Mario game or what have you. I mean, it can all be said in the same capacity. There are going to be some people that are good with, a low level of proficiency at those games, and there are going to be some people that really want to excel. And that's where in the fighting genre of video games, you'll see people really, really take it to another level, and they get out of that button mashing experience, and they really start learning how to understand the underlying mechanics of the game and start incorporating dedicated move sets and trying to link combos and things like that. It's really impressive, actually. I love watching competitive fighting. I haven't played fighting games for a very long time, but I respect the crap out of it, and I love watching it. Street Fighter is really my thing I like to watch. We'll probably watch some Evo this year, but yeah, I mean, it's not wrong. But I mean, this goes along with like basically any video game, in my opinion. Night Dive reassures fans about the Atari deal. Not only will we be doing as much as we ever did, but we'll be doing more of it. Night Dive got bought out by Atari. Or it's happening. It's been agreed upon. News of the buyout didn't go over well with fans, but Night Dive and Atari both say they have shared goals in innovative retro gaming. Yeah. There's warranted concern here, though, for what would happen to Night Dive's IP portfolio and Atari taking it, and how access to that is going to be for gamers moving forward. Atari surprised everyone last week with the out-of-nowhere acquisition of Night Dive Studios, the developer responsible for bringing back 90s classics shooters including like Turok, Turok 2, Blood, Quake, and Power Slave, as well as the upcoming System Shock remake. The news wasn't received with universal enthusiasm due to Atari's less than stellar contemporary reputation, which has arisen from ventures like the underwhelming Atari VCS and baffling Atari Hotels, as well as its embrace of cryptocurrency and NFTs. Yeah, that's a big concern there. Which went over about as well as you'd expect with it, which is to say not well at all. But Larry Cooperman, Night Dive's director of business development, said in an interview with PC Gamer that those concerns are misplaced. The new Atari, as he put it, is dedicated to the same principles of bringing back classic and classic-style games that Night Dive has always pursued. And to that end, Night Dive will continue to do what it has always done, effectively independent of Atari. Quote, we're going to continue to go forward, Cooperman said. I've watched a lot of comments on Twitter, and people have said, oh, they're so disappointed that Night Dive won't be doing this and won't be doing that. In fact, there was a whole long list, but two of the titles that were mentioned that people are disappointed that we're not going to be doing, we're doing already. They're already 75% of the way complete. This past weekend, we showed off Rise of the Triad. What is that? Ludicrous Edition? Yeah. Which is something I'm really excited about. It's a joint project with the team at Apogee and New Blood. It's the first time we've done anything like that. Clearly, there are a lot of companies that are playing in the same space. We have great relations with those companies, and we believe that through this partnership with Atari, not only will we be doing as much as we ever did, we'll be doing more of it. Atari's acquisition of Night Dive Studios is expected to close by the end of April. Night Dive System Shock Remake, which we are all very much looking forward to, is set to come out on May 30th. So basically a quote is like from Cooperman, why anyone would want to spend that kind of money to destroy the company? Why would you do that? It's kind of obvious they're making an expensive commitment to allow Night Dive to do more of what Night Dive has become famous for doing. We'll just have to see how it plays out, man. I don't think that some of the concern here, the worry here is unwarranted for sure, because we know what Atari has done as of late. And there are people that are worried that some of this content that Night Dive has become known for doing and doing well is going to be gatekept by some of their more scummy mechanics that they've been up to as of late. So there's some warranted concern here, I think. But we'll just see what comes of this acquisition, and hopefully it won't be too much of an issue moving forward. Hopefully it'll be more of a just a the investment will provide some cushion for Night Dive to really, buckle down and be able to bring even more content to us, and Atari won't have their digits and everything and really be mucking it up too much, So we'll see though. I think they have a trailer here for they've got a trailer for Rise of the Triad, and this is their System Shock trailer right here as well, which we've already seen this stuff, but if you guys are interested, take a look. System Shock remake looks cool. All the biggest video game releases for April. Let's see what we got. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Yeah. New DLC for Horizon Forbidden West, which is Burning Shores. Dead Island 2. Yep. Everything else, Raven's Watch, Sherlock Holmes The Awakened, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection Volumes 1 and 2, Minecraft Legends, Disney Speedstorm Early Access, Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, Coffee Talk Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Dead Island 2, The Last Case of Benedict Fox, Mailtime, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. They've got some info for all of these, so if you're interested, we've seen a lot of them already, but if there's some of those that you're not familiar with, take a look at that article, okay? Get some more info on them. Netflix is testing TV games that can use phones as controllers. Oh, I didn't see all that title when we pulled this up. Testing TV games that can use phones as controllers. Oh. Netflix might have started, or is at least looking to start, testing games for TV based on code within its app. The developer Steve Moser has shared with Bloomberg. Moser reportedly found hidden code referencing games played on television, as well as additional code that indicates the possibility of being able to use phones as controllers to play them. Yo, Beso, what's up? How you doing, buddy? It's been a minute. Well, I'll talk about that. As well as additional code that indicates the possibility of being able to use phones as controllers to play them. One line from within the app apparently reads, "A game on your TV needs a controller to play. Do you want to use this phone as a game controller?" Moser also previously found hints that the service's then upcoming and ad-supported plan might not come with offline viewing. He turned out to be spot on. Streaming giant launched its game experience on Android, iPhones, and iPads in 2021. It required mobile users to download games from the App Store or from Google Play due to rules set by Apple and Google. Since the point of these games is to increase engagement and retain users, they can be launched from within the Netflix app, and an active subscription is necessary to be able to access them. On the Netflix app for TV, these games are notably absent. It remains to be seen how the company intends to implement gaming on TVs and whether it will also require users to download the games before being able to play them. Netflix VP of Gaming Development, Mike Verdu, said last year the company was seriously exploring a cloud gaming offering and that is looking to launch more than just casual games for television. Yeah, okay, so I'm good, buddy. I'm good. It's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, so, I mean, look, here's the thing about what Netflix is offering right now. Is it mind-blowing? No. But I don't think it's the worst. They're just kind of dipping their toes right now. Good, man. I'm glad. That's awesome. That's great to hear, man. So this is going to be their second year of really taking their dive into this venture of getting into video games, right? And it's not an easy thing. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that their plan is necessarily bad, to be fair. So their plan is not fully realized yet. They've started this plan with what they did was they initially rolled out this mobile platform, and they've got a number. So by the end of last year, they had roughly 50 games on there. I think it was like January 4th. Last year, they kept touting they were going to have 50 games on the platform, mobile games on the platform by the end of the year. And they hit 50 on like January 4th. So they really hit that. Well, so let me I'm going to contrast that a bit. I'm going to contrast that statement there a bit, Bazo. I know what you're saying, but there's more to it than just that. So, they got those 50. They are saying that they're, again, right here, they're rolling out at least another 40 this year, right? I think it's too early, dude, to just say they should just stop. They're just done. It's just over. They need to just be done. It's it's too early to just count them out. Okay. Now, it's not an easy thing for anybody that thinks it's just easy to get into, like, being a gaming publisher, developer, or whatever. It's that's not the case. And there's a lot of ins and outs to it. I mean, obviously somebody, a company that already is part of the entertainment industry and has capital to invest and has a name to build on, that is an easier thing to get you started. But you have to provide quality content, right? You have to provide quality content to really push yourself forward and become known as a place to bring people into your platform and keep people on that platform. There's two parts to that. You need to bring people in, you need to keep people in. So that is also a very difficult thing. And while I know what you're saying right now, Bazo, in the fact that no, they don't right now, they don't have the selection of games on their platform right now is not that. It is not something that is necessarily going to entice people to buy in and stay in. I agree. But this is part of their business plan to try and get into gaming. So what you're seeing right now with what they've already put out is not all they're doing either. So a lot of what they've done, and I think it's actually pretty smart, is that they've gotten a lot of apps put on their platform. Now, if anybody didn't know, the games that you play on their platform also are ad-free, outside of having a subscription to their ad-based subscription tier. And there are no microtransactions within. So you don't have to deal with microtransactions within the games, and no ad space unless you're buying into their ad-based tier. So what they've done is they've gotten a lot of games that basically were already mobile titles, right? So and they've gotten some notable titles on there too. You talk about games like Oxenfree, Immortality, I think was one that was up for a ton of awards last year. Into the Breach Enhanced Edition. They got a ton of these titles that are very, very recognized, very notable games that they brought into their platform. Now, is that, necessarily showing that they are in-house developing great titles right now for the future of building a great platform? No, but it was a good entry venture to getting into gaming, right? Yeah, I mean, but that's what this is, right? This is a test for them. And I think anybody, I mean, look, any company that is trying to get into the gaming side of things, and there are a lot of different avenues for the gaming industry. I mean, we've seen recently Google failed in the cloud gaming space. Stadia is done, right? So just because you are a company that is into the tech side of things, the entertainment side of things, doesn't mean that you're going to be successful, right? But I think a big part of it is having some kind of solid plan behind trying to dive in and establish yourself as some kind of decent presence within the industry. The thing that Netflix has is one of the reasons they're trying to take a dive into the gaming stuff is because their subscription base has dwindled for their actual, like, the other part of their entertainment stuff, right? So their movies, their TV stuff, their subscription base has really dwindled over the past, like, roughly 3 to 4 years. So they took a look at what else they could do to bring people in and be a part of their subscription service. And gaming apparently seemed like a really nice transition for them, right? So what the other part of this is that people I don't think are real educated on right now with Netflix is that they have acquired a number of developers that are now under Netflix's umbrella, right? So they've got a number of developers they own that were previously independent. Boss Fight is one. They've got about 3 or 4 other ones that they actually own now. And Netflix has actually basically stated that they are in development of their own AA to AAA game at this point. So there are things going on behind the scenes that they are doing to try and increase the gaming presence on their platform outside of what they've been doing over the past year. So there are more things to come, but they're just kind of dipping their toes right now, or that's what they've been doing over the past year to year and a half to try and get people familiar with their platform as a gaming presence as well, right? So to just totally count them out right now, I don't think is entirely fair. I actually think their plan right now has been pretty solid to try to just get some really well-known mobile games that fit well on their platform in there and give people something to have some fun with while maybe you're not watching a show or whatever, right? So you're saying a little bit skeptical about the game on TV. Well, here's the thing, dude. I'm not. So this is something that's actually being rolled out by a lot of different companies. So gaming on TVs is something that is becoming rapidly available. So you see specifically like Samsung right now. Samsung right now, all of their 2022 TVs, and they've made a large majority of their 2021 TVs available for cloud gaming services, which means that as long as you have bought into a cloud gaming service, you can basically like attach any kind of peripheral you want to their TV, and you can just game straight off the TV. Things like that. So they're and this is just an example of the way that like our technology is evolving, and so I don't think it's going to be incredibly difficult for Netflix as an application on these types of TVs, you know, the advancement we have in the hardware on these TVs, to be able to roll out some implementations that will allow people to get decent gaming functionality going. I mean, it probably won't, you know, as far as like being able to use your phone as a controller, that might not happen as fast as like just being able to use some other basic peripherals, like, you know, grabbing whatever controller you have around and being able to connect that or so, you know, whatever the case may be. But I don't think it's, you know, too far fetched that they'll get to a point where maybe you can just, you know, be playing a game even on your mobile device. You get home, pop open your TV, and then you can, you know, just basically pull up Netflix on your TV, the app on your TV, and it'll go, oh, hey, we can see that you're playing this game on your mobile device. Do you want to go ahead and start playing it on your TV? And you just click yes on your mobile device or your TV, and boom, your phone turns into a controller or whatever. I mean, technology is not, I mean, we're there with that kind of stuff. It's just a matter of them finding a good way to, you know, get it written out and apply it into their applications. So I don't think it's too far-fetched. They just got to do some work on it to get it rolling. So now I'll backtrack a bit and also say, well, they haven't really said anything about what their big game that they've announced that they're developing. They haven't given any details on it yet. It's very early. It's very early in development. So we haven't heard anything specific on what it's going to be, what type of game it'll be, or anything like that. But they have stated they're in development, early development of a AA to AAA game. I have no idea. Yeah, that's one of the things we're waiting to see, right? It's one of the things we're waiting to see. No idea. No, I'm not sure. I don't know if it's going to be only on their platform, if it'll be something that's going to have Netflix brand on it that might hit other platforms too. I mean, who knows? Because I mean, I think the smart thing to do is like, From my perspective, it like any of the other console players or platforms or whatever, if you're going to be a developer and a publisher, yo, Kayla, what's up? How you feeling? Uh, uh, they all do this, right? Bazo, they all do this, and it's a matter of, trying to get your software on, because you'll now Nintendo's the worst, but PlayStation and Xbox will do this more than the other ones, but they have proprietary stuff, right? So that they'll have their console only, like, so that they'll make a game, it'll only come to PlayStation for Sony, it'll only come to Xbox, for Microsoft or whatever. And Nintendo obviously has that kind of stuff. So I'm guessing Netflix will have that kind of thing going on at some point, right? There's like, as they develop more and more, it'll be like, some stuff will be only for them, but at the same time, maybe at the initial, rollout of some of their software, if they really want people to see their brand and see the kind of quality or the kind of products that they're pushing out software wise for gaming, maybe the better play for them would be, letting people know that, like, this is a Netflix developed game, but letting it be out not only on Netflix's platform, and maybe only on Netflix's platform to begin with. We see that kind of thing happen all the time too, but then let it be on other platforms as well, right? So that's a potential thing there, but we just don't know yet, man. We haven't heard enough. All they've really done is announced that they're in early development of a title. It's good. It's good, Kayla. Thanks. Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah. Sorry you're not feeling great. That sucks, man. Dude, that's so taxing too. After being like that all day yesterday, also, that sucks. So again, on the flip side of this, Bazo, you could be right, man. Right now, I don't think that their lineup is incredibly, intoxicating for a lot of people. There aren't a lot of people that are going, I need Netflix because of all these games they have, So I don't think you're wrong there. And just because they are getting into the gaming side of things doesn't mean they will be successful. It's a hard industry, man. It's a tough place. And I do think that their business plan right now is pretty solid, though. And I think you have to have that if you're going to dive into the gaming industry. You've got to have something decent, some kind of decent plan to get you started. And I think they're doing an okay job right now. We'll just have to see how it goes moving forward. It doesn't mean they will be successful for sure. We'll just have to see how it goes. But this is an interesting concept they've got going, with the TV the phone game thing to the TV game thing. And I don't see it being far-fetched at all for them to start rolling that out in the near future at all. In 5 years up by Nintendo. Oh, God. Yikes, dude. I think if anybody ends up buying all of Nintendo, it's going to be Saudi Arabia, dude. They're already like 10% in, if you didn't know that. Yeah. Last one I have. So this is the last article for the day. We'll hit this. If anybody has anything to add, let me know and we'll discuss it before we're gonna go play a little bit of Warframe. And within the next, let me see, what are they saying on what time's our game release here? Playing Dredge today, man. We're gonna play some Dredge today. Let's go to the store page. Approximately 2 hours. So should be around 11. I'm guessing. We'll check around 10 also. I can maybe hold on. Yeah, it's 11. It's 11 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock, we'll start downloading it, and I'll make lunch and everything. Yo, Tabo, what's up, buddy? Nintendo needs to make new games. Nintendo needs a new console, dog. That's what Nintendo needs. Nintendo needs a new console. They need to create a everlasting online platform. Quit shutting down their flippin' eShops. And they need to start making backwards compatibility a thing for their customers. Nintendo's terrible, dude. Nintendo is like the gross of the gross, dude. As far as I'm, I have a Switch. I have a Switch. I like a lot of their content, but dude, of the console players, Nintendo is one of the most disgusting. With the mechanics they get up to for greed and trying to get people to buy things over and over and over again and stuff like that. It's so absolutely disgusting. I hate it so much. Dredge at 11. So we got a little over 2 hours. So we'll play a little bit of Warframe after we get rid of this article or after we finish the news segment. We'll play a couple hours of Warframe and then we'll get into Dredge. Day 1 of Dredge. It looks really cool. Tabo, how you doing, buddy? Gaming Beta is fighting for its life. Between its recent tests, the developers of Diablo 4 were keen to assure players that they weren't playing a marketing beta. General Manager Rod Ferguson explained how a rocky start would mean a smoother launch. Blizzard had already used data gathered from early access to hotfix. Hopefully that looks a little bit better. There you go. Major problems and solve other issues down the line. For all the struggles that Diablo developers wrestled with over the past few weeks, it looks like the open beta was a true testing ground for the game. Unfortunately, that seems to be an increasingly rare phenomenon. This week, Warner Brothers announced that Multiverses, a game that soft launched in July of last year, entered its first season in August and claimed nominations and wins at several prestigious game awards of the year awards shows, has been firmly in beta this whole time. In spite of update seasons, new characters, and a pretty grueling battle pass, players were told that there's still a lot of work to do, and the game will be pulled from digital stores next week. And will be shut down in June, won't return to a live state until 2024. We read this yesterday. Kind of crazy. I mean, this is one of those things we talk about a lot right now with live service games and just the gaming world in general. It's very polluted and it's a struggle. Just because a game does very well right off the bat doesn't mean it's necessarily going to continue to be successful. You've got to pull players in initially and you've got to hold them there too. Well, this game did very, very well off the bat. This was a huge success at EVO last year in place of Smash Brothers, which Nintendo, again, because they suck, they pulled out. They didn't let people play at EVO last year. And Multiverses came in, took its place. It just released at that point and did very well. And then just died. Yeah, it is. That's actually Nintendo's MO, dude. They suck like that, man. Yeah. yeah, basically, Tabo, yeah. Ostensibly, Multiverses is shutting down to give Warner Brothers a chance to work on its release timeline for things like new characters and maps, as well as improvements to netcode and matchmaking. The quiet part is that Multiverses' player count has fallen off a cliff, dropping 99% between July of last year and February of this year. It's just over half a year on Steam. For a service game intended as a rival to one of the most successful fighting game series of all time, that's a death knell. Fewer players means a worse online experience, which is likely to drive even more players away. It's not hard to extrapolate that Warner Brothers is hoping a relaunch will give Multiverses the shot and the arm required to resurrect it, but in doing so, it's helping further undermine the already uncertain role that a beta plays in modern gaming development. Traditionally, a beta test follows an internal alpha testing phase and is the first time that select members of a prospective audience get their hands on a product. A beta can take many forms, but many focus on online functionality or game balance. Consider Elden Ring's network test or testing servers for games like League of Legends or World of Warcraft. The idea is that these tests offer data for troubleshooting or fine-tuning that otherwise might get swept up in the chaos of a full launch. Elden Ring was still trash on PC, by the way, on launch. So I don't know what they thought they were doing with the testing of that game potentially, but they didn't. all they did was network test stuff. Really, they didn't, you know. Yeah, Diablo 4 has a lot of people have been talking very good about Diablo 4. I'm boycotting Blizzard, dude. So it's a personal choice. I just over the years of being such a huge Blizzard fan and seeing Blizzard turn into something that I'm not happy with, I've just Diablo Immortal was the final thing for me. I just couldn't do it anymore. Seeing what they did with Diablo Immortal was just too gross, and I just had to be done with them. I just can't do it anymore, and it's hard for me because Diablo, bro. I've still got Diablo 1 box that looks brand new with all the stuff in it. Diablo 2 is the same thing. Lord of Destruction, same thing. I've got my World of Warcraft first 2 expansions. I've got all that stuff, you know. I'm a long time Blizzard. I mean, StarCraft, Warcraft, all that stuff. Well, I don't think that. Here's the issue, dude. Here's the issue. I don't think any of us expect the game to be perfect on release. You know, I don't think anybody's expecting games to be perfect on release. But there is a huge issue with games being released in a state that is not acceptable. You know, whether it be an initial release or a port over to a different platform after it's already been on other platforms for a while or whatever. There's a significant issue right now in the industry of things like, dude, I'll show you the most recent example of it is The Last of Us. Look at this. Have you seen this? The Last of Us just came out 2 days ago, and it is at over 9,000 reviews of 37% positive. This is a constant thing happening in the industry right now. You know? It's terrible, dude. I mean, I don't understand. And so, I mean, here's my thing. I don't think any of us expect a game to be flawless. I've never played a game that was flawless. So that's not the case. But there's a difference between us playing games and going, oh, well, that's an acceptable kind of, you know, bug or whatever. And then paying $60 to $70 for a game and it being literally unplayable because it performs so terribly, or it doesn't follow through with the kind of content that was promised or whatever. You know what I mean? Those are the big contrasting differences there, right? And I think that, you know, you're absolutely not wrong, Bazo. I mean, nobody should be expecting a game to be perfect. Absolutely not. But on the flip side of that, developers have to stop doing this crap to us. Because if you look at 2 days ago, this is 9,000 people that have been confirmed to have bought and left a review. How many people have bought this game that haven't left a review? That were just like, you know, that, I mean, there've got to be a ton of people that bought the game that just haven't even left a review and just got duped out of their money, basically, you know. Here's my big thing. I keep talking about this. The prevalence of the internet and how much connectivity is in the world these days is a very, very nice utility. It's a great tool for developers because game development is much great. It's a much more grandiose thing than it ever has been. Therefore, it's a great thing to have at your disposal as a developer to continue to push out content, fix unexpected things for a game. You know, it's a very, very, very great tool to have. You know, but the thing that I think is happening is that, at least the way it comes off anyway, is that there are too many developers. And I don't want to be putting all developers into the same basket. There are a lot of developers that still do a good job of releasing games in a great state, but there are a lot that are doing a bad job too. What I think is that there are a lot of developers that go, it's good enough. They're not using good enough quality assurance. They're not testing games enough. They're pushing it out and they're going, well, people will still buy it. We'll fix it after the fact. Instead of looking at the internet and connectivity as a tool. They use it as a crutch. So they use it as a crutch and they go, yeah, the game's broken. We're gonna get wrecked for it, but it's cool. We'll fix it and everything will be okay on the back end. Dude, that is not the way things are supposed to roll. So, but we see this happening on the constant, dude. Games being released all the time that are just performing like trash on one platform or another, and it's terrible. And I don't think that, I don't think that development is an easy thing, but this is making, they wonder why piracy is such a huge thing in the video gaming industry or entertainment industry, but video games for sure, piracy is such a huge issue because developers do this crap. And then people feel like they got their money stolen, because they paid for $70 now. $70 is the norm now, right? People paid $70 for a game on release, and then they can't even play the game because all it does is crash and bug out on them all the time. And then moving forward, it's like, well, why would I pay for a game up front anymore? I'm just going to start pirating stuff. And that's the mindset people get in. I don't do that, but I know a lot of people that do and a lot of people that have. And it sucks, man. It sucks. It's not good. It's not good. I mean, the developers are hurting themselves. It's hurting us as a fan base and as the consumer, and they're hurting themselves, And I don't know what the actual key to resolving this process is, but this is terrible, man. That's terrible. Yeah, I mean, dude, there are all kinds of examples of terrible releases. I mean, we could go on and on and on, dude. Cyberpunk is a fantastic one. That's one of the more notable ones for sure. But there are a lot of them, dude. Traditionally, a beta test follows an internal alpha testing phase and is the first time that select members of a prospective audience get their hands on a product. A beta can take many forms, but many focus on online functionality or game balance. Consider, the network test and stuff, even though Elden Ring should have been, their PC, Elden Ring on PC was terrible. It was super stuttery and tons of frame. I mean, I played through it, but it felt bad. It did not feel good. Increasingly, it feels like betas occupy two new roles. One is a marketing beta, mentioned by the Diablo team, early access, often gated behind pre-orders, for which prospective players will have to pay. Developers will glean useful information from these tests, sure, but a key aim is to lock in some crucial sales well ahead of launch, yeah. Far more cynical, however, is the beta that seems a game dangled in front of a player base for as long as it remains invested. If the investment wanes or never even comes, the game can be pulled back out of its testing phase, no matter how long it's been available or how much money it's made from its audience, to be re-released at a time more conducive to its success. Or, as in the case of Amazon's defunct hero shooter Crucible, to be entirely shuttered, as quietly as possible in the hopes that people forget it ever existed. Yeah. Look, man, I mean, I'm not saying that that's like the only reason behind why people would do it. I think another big reason is the price of things. I think I talk about this a lot. The price of gaming is expensive. It's a huge obstacle for a lot of people. And I think that also pushes a lot of people to resort to piracy in some form or fashion. And that's why I've had such a big issue with games popping off at $70 a piece now, because it really wasn't needed, And there are a lot of people that try to back that and go, well, the price for games hasn't raised, it hasn't gone up in roughly 20 years. It's been $60 has been AAA price point on release for 20 years now. It's okay. No. The monetization schemes that have gone on in gaming since that time, dude, developers have been making their money in different ways. It hasn't been needed. That's why the price hasn't gone up. The price hasn't needed to go up. They've got microtransactions and battle passes and DLC that they get content that should have been part of the base game. They make it ready when the game releases initially, and then they make people pay for it a month and a half afterwards. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, price is just a huge obstacle too, man. They're making that money, dude. But I know that, you know, development's expensive too. I mean, there are lots of ins and outs to it. It's not like this is just a totally black and white kind of scenario here in regards to all this has to offer us. But, you know, there's some issues that need to be addressed. I mean, the developers are not doing themselves any kinds of, they're not helping themselves, you know, at all. With the constant, dude, I see it like, it's like every day, dude, I see games dropping that are just in a terrible state. And I don't understand. I don't understand what makes them feel like it's okay to just release the games in that kind of condition. You know, they're not helping themselves. Reminded of the issue surrounding Steam's early access system. Dude, I was about to bring this up. Eventually, Valve made a play for transparency, requiring developers to outline their aims and timeframes for the early access window. Before that, games could sit in early access for years. Dude, they still can, though. Dude, 7 Days to Die has been in early access for like 9 years now. It's still in early access. And it drives me crazy. There's no reason. There's no reason for that. Sales could be racked up, updates could flow, but there was always a sense that a project might never make it to a full release, despite that early access badge acting as a helpful shield for more significant criticism. The idea that an entire beta phase is little more than an extended temperature check just to see if enough of an audience can be pulled in is exactly what the Diablo devs had to battle against around their own betas. Even as it made its testing aims clear, Blizzard was combating complaints from players somehow unhappy they were helping to test the game. In my view, this is what I've been... Dude, I am not even playing Blizzard games right now. So I'm pretty disgruntled with Blizzard. But I've had so many, I've seen so much stuff with people talking crap about the beta of D4. And I'm like, you're playing a beta, man. You're testing a game to try and help them find issues so that they can be fixed upon full release. That's literally what a beta is. So I don't understand why there's so many people throwing a fit about maybe some queue times or certain things in the game. Now, look, one thing we saw was that like there was potentially some 3080 Ti's that were getting burned up in a certain cutscene in the game. Bro, I would be tilted, okay? If I was playing a beta and it burnt my 3080 Ti up in my machine, bro, I would be really, really tilted, okay? So that's a bit different. But outside of that, you're literally helping test a game. And unfortunately, you get a lot of people that they just want to get in there and just want to play the game. They don't look at it as a beta. They don't look at it as trying to help the developer, which is what it should be, right? And that drives me crazy. That's literally the point of a beta. Exactly what a beta should be. It's clear that the term has been somehow corrupted, and now to some simply means a period of time where I get to play the game. Exactly. Like, people need to stop feeling like that's not what that is. And I hate seeing people get beta access and not do their best to try to provide at least some kind of feedback, provide something to the developer. They've given you an in to try the game early and stuff, that it's a two-way street there. The reason they're trying to let you taste the game a little bit early, but a big part of that is because they are trying to get your feedback. They want your help, and to see people just go, oh, I'm getting to play Diablo 4, and then to do nothing on the back end to try to help the developer, that is bad on the side of us as video game lovers and the consumer, So the beta is a two-way street, man. And the people that get in on the beta are supposed to be helping as well. Multiverse's Disappearing Act wasn't the first time a beta badge has been used in this way. Won't be the last. Every time this happens to a game that is, for all intents and purposes, a full-fledged release, trust in the idea of testing a game will be corroded. And as that happens, our insight into their development and fans' ability to be involved in the games that they love will be diminished ever further. This is a good article. That's a good article. Great job, Allie Jones, dude. It's a good article. But yeah, dude, I mean, when we read about Multiverses yesterday, I was like, dude, I think that game's done. Multiverses, I was really surprised at how many people like took Multiverses and ran with it initially. It seemed like it was really going to be here to stay. And then I remember about a month after it came out, I was like, is anybody still playing that? And it just looked like it was dying. And sure enough, man, here we are. And I don't know that they'll be able to resuscitate it, by, removing it, pulling it off, shutting it down, and trying to find ways to bring it back. I don't know that like a relaunch is going to do anything for it. It's not like there haven't been relaunches historically that have done good things for games. Like you talk about Final Fantasy 14. But those are rare examples. Final Fantasy 14 was a terrible game on release. The MMORPG Final Fantasy, right? That game was just supposedly. I've never played it, but what I do know about that game is that it was just absolutely terribly, just gross. Content was gross. Didn't feel good to play, and they basically tore the game down, built it back up, and people love it. It's one of the most renowned MMOs of recent, I mean, it's been around for years now, but if you guys want more out of this article, I'll give it to you. It's a very good article. Yeah. There's not enough beta alpha testing or even a pre-release test phase. If that was done and on a wide range, some obvious bugs, annoying ones could be fixed beforehand. Yeah, so there's another side of that too, though, right? There's another side of that too, which is like, obviously, the responsibility of a developer, is that they need to be doing their utmost to not cut corners and to make sure that they're doing a great, thorough job of quality assurance and testing for their titles before they're ever released. And you're not wrong. A good beta testing to push a game out and let people play it is also, I think, a great way. But some of the things that you have to take into consideration is, in doing that, the players have to provide feedback. And you can't, it takes a good amount of time. It takes a good amount of time to filter through feedback and to be able to discern between crap feedback and quality feedback. And of the quality feedback, how much of that quality feedback is actually noting some of the, quite often the same things that you should really take into consideration, and so there's a lot that goes into it. Outside of even that, it's like the developer has to be willing to listen too, right? So is the beta they're pushing out is the beta they're pushing out something that's and I think that there are also times where there's not necessarily a bad quality assurance testing development process going on internally, but there's probably there's too much push from the top down where, you've got testers going, there's still issues, there's still stuff that needs to be done, there's still stuff there, this is broken or whatever. And unfortunately, you've got pressure from the top going, we don't have time, push it out. I think there's a lot of ins and outs to this, but I think at the core of it is that I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, you're not going to fool me twice, dude. I will not play another Avalanche game on release, which was Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy on release felt terrible. I am actually, I'm super tilted right now because I won't play another From Software game on release either because Elden Ring felt terrible. And I'm so, But that's the thing, Peter. It shouldn't matter, dude. I know. That's the thing that sucks is like, I know it felt really good on console, but I'm going to tell you for who I am and the gamer that I am, I want to play it on I want to play it on the platform that feels the worst. I'm glad I played it on the console or on the platform that felt the worst because I want to know where they're failing, you know? And so for me, that's what I'm getting at is like it to me it's like it didn't even matter that they pushed it out on a platform that it felt good. That what mattered to me was that they didn't push it out on every platform to feel good. They got it out. I'm telling you, man, there were so many signs on Hogwarts Legacy that it was absolutely developed for console. They had no focus on the PC side of that game, optimization wise, and then they just ported it over to PC at the last minute, dude. And that's why it felt gross. It wasn't just the performance stuff. There were all kinds of indicators in that game that game was made for console and not PC. And so you could just tell that they didn't do anything to try to make sure that game was ready for PC before release. And I just get so sick of it, man. So at the very least, what they should have done was just like, they should have just released it on the platforms it was ready for and just delayed it on PC or something. Because it wasn't even coming out on like previous gen consoles yet. It wasn't coming out on Switch yet or anything. So that's what they should have done. But I mean, that's where I'm at with a lot of this. And like we've got, you know, Armored Core 6 coming out from Software. And dude, I love mech games. I love mech games. And I'm so stoked for that game. But I won't play it on release because they got me with Elden Ring, dude. They got me with Elden Ring. I complained through the entire playthrough of Elden Ring because it felt so gross. Constant frame drop and stuttering, and you could tell that was another game. Honestly, whenever I was playing through Hogwarts Legacy, I kept talking about how similar Hogwarts Legacy felt to how Elden Ring felt. You know what, dude? You'd have PC problems if it wasn't for me. Got him. What are you doing, dude? Aren't you supposed to be serving some smoothies or something? So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I've had a ranty morning, dude. I've been ranting, but it mauls me out, dude. No, you didn't, dude. Oh, jeez, dude. You're crazy, bro. Wait, what, Tabo? That guy was rude. Even more concerning, you got timed out. Wait, what are you talking about? Can you read down? Because I have no internet. You had to you have to go download it onto the thumb drive and install it or something? Oh, bro. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, when we were watching it? Yeah. Yeah. We were actually, yeah, that was whatever. They didn't want to acknowledge it, dude. They didn't want to acknowledge the fact that one of their versions was having significant issues. They didn't want to talk about it. They got lucky. There were so many people that didn't care. There was just too much hype around the game. And that's one of the other issues, you know. There was just, I mean, that's one of the things I was saying about Elden Ring back in the day too. Whenever Elden Ring first came out last year, because I played it on release, right? And there were just so many issues with the PC version. It was super unoptimized, and you had certain people that were just like, it's fantastic. There's nothing better. Nothing could ever be. It doesn't even matter that the frame rates aren't great. And it's like, dude, you've got to stop this. You can't do that. You can't just give developers an out, man. You can't just let them, you know, get by with that stuff. That's not fair, man. It's not fair that you pay full price expecting a quality product and they give you something subpar. That's not fair. And not that the content wasn't good in the game, but man, that's not fair. It's not fair to get something subpar when you pay for it. You know, and for me, that's what I expect. If I'm not getting a quality product, you're not getting my money again, man. Wick, if I don't get a quality smoothie, bro, you know what I'm saying? No more PC help, dog. So I don't know. Yeah, you guys know, man. You know how to get me riled up, but it's I don't think that I'm necessarily going to be a catalyst for change or anything either. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh man, we hear this all the time," but I never know who's going to hear this stuff. And for me, it's about raising awareness about what's going on in the industry and trying to get us to a better, healthier spot all the way around. You know, yeah, it's about all right, buddy. Thanks, man. Thanks for all the work, dude. I appreciate it. I literally make the best movie in Pittsburgh. Wait, you're making movies now, dog? Wait, about what? Smoothies? Movies about smoothies, dude? Have a good day, Tabo. So, you know, for me, it's just, you know, doing the best I can to raise awareness and educate, try to get us as many viewpoints as possible. That's why I like talking with you guys about it too. You know, I like talking with you guys about these issues because I don't know, I'm not always going to see all the ins and outs of it. I mean, that's the way things work. And you guys bring up really good points too. So we really get to flesh out these ideas and what's going on in the industry. But I think raising awareness about what's going on is the is the important thing, you know, because I think this is the world that I love. And I'm obviously passionate about it. I know a lot of you guys are too. And I think trying to make it progress into a healthier state is what we should be trying to do, you know, rather than keep letting things go by without addressing them and let them regress, you know. I think that's my big thing. Bro, I want to see the smoothie movie, Doug. You guys rock. I appreciate you. So we'll do it again tomorrow, man. Same time as always, 6 a.m. CST. We'll do video gaming news for what will be the last day of March, the 31st. But if anybody else is out there checking out this content for the first time, this new segment, any of our other content, we got all kinds of stuff out there, man. Game playthroughs of games that we've done here on the channel and funny clips and highlights and stuff. And we have a cool spot here with really cool peoples and everything. We have a good time hanging out every day, playing games and doing the news and stuff. So if you are enjoying the content, then try to come hang out with us, man, when we go live at 6 a.m. CST every single day. And start all the streams off with the news segment before we dive into whatever gaming content we have planned for the rest of the day, okay? We're going to move on to some gaming, but you guys stay healthy, stay safe, be kind, and I will catch everybody for more video gaming news tomorrow, all right?